All right, today is Monday, December the 4th. We have a whole lot of information that we're going to be covering today. The first thing I want you to do is get out your data folder, open up to DGP week 12. Once you have that opened up, you're going to go into your English class. You're going to scroll down to second 9 weeks, and you are going to click on week 7. Today is Monday. Now, you're going to open up the DGP 12M, okay? We're going to go through and do this together, but what I want you to do is, as we're talking about it and as we're answering it, I want you to write the answers in your data folder first. After we have all of the answers written in your data folder, then you can go back and plug them in to the interactive version, okay? And the reason why is because there are a bunch of pronouns in this sentence that are different, okay? And if you're not listening, then you're going to miss something. All right? So, what I am going to do is I'm going to put this version up on the board, okay? And we're going to go this route first. Now, the first thing we're going to do is read the sentence. We gave the dog its food before we took it for a walk. You have 3 common nouns in this sentence. Right now, what I want you to do is write a small n above the 3 common nouns. Now, what are the 3 common nouns in this sentence?
Dog, food, walk.
All right, good. Dog, food, and walk. Now, I had students in my other classes that wanted to say walk was a verb. Why is it not a verb here? It's a thing, it's a common noun, okay? It's part of a prepositional phrase. And we know that the object of the preposition has to always be what part of speech? Noun or pronoun. All right, good deal. Now we're going to take the next easiest thing to identify, and those are going to be your article adjectives. You have 2 in this sentence. What are the 2 article adjectives? All right, V and A. The abbreviation for article adjective is ART. Now, the other easy thing to identify is going to be your preposition. You have 1. What is the preposition in this sentence? For. All right. Now, the word before we took it for a walk, this is a dependent clause marker. What is another word for a dependent clause marker? Subordinating conjunction. What is the abbreviation for a... All right, SC. Now, I just told you that you have a dependent clause here, okay? For Tuesday, we're going to go ahead and we're going to put before we took it for a walk in brackets. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to write dependent clause down here. Okay? Now, does this sentence also contain an independent clause? Yes. All right. We gave the dog its food. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to put it in brackets as well for Tuesday, just to simplify my life a little bit.
Why did you put that under Tuesday when we don't do that?
It is Wednesday.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry.
Welcome.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead with what I have. All right. Okay, now we have an independent clause. And the reason why I wanted to kind of go into this is because you're going to have to identify your subjects, okay? And we know that the subject of a sentence or the subject of a clause will always be what part of speech?
Noun, pronoun.
A noun or a pronoun, okay? Well, in this particular sentence, it's going to be a pronoun, okay? And the word we, all right, is going to be a first person nominative pronoun. Now, can somebody tell me why it's nominative?
Beginning.
Because it's functioning as the what of the sentence?
Subject.
Functioning as the subject. Okay, so in both clauses, the independent and the dependent clause, we is a first person nominative pronoun. All right, now each clause has a verb. You've got to determine if your verb is an action verb, a linking verb, or a helping verb, and whether or not it is in the present, past, or future tense. Okay? What is your action verb or your linking verb or your helping verb in the independent clause? Gave. Okay, what type of verb is gave? Action verb, and is it past, present, or future? Past. Okay, now, what is the verb in your dependent clause? All right, took. Now, is it an action verb, linking verb, or helping verb? Action verb. Is it past, future, or present? I did it again. All right, now, your verbs have to stay in the same tense, okay? You can't have a verb in the present tense in your independent clause and then in the past tense in your dependent clause. Your verb tenses have to remain the same throughout, okay? Now, the last thing that we have is the word it's and it. In this first it, okay, we're talking about its food. What is it doing here? What is it's doing? Possessive is showing ownership. Now, is the word it or the pronoun it, is it first, second, or third? Third. All right, so it is a third person possessive pronoun. Okay? Now, let's look at before we took it for a walk. Before we took who or before we took what? Before we took what? It. Okay, so it answers who or what after the verb. All right? If it answers who or what after the verb, then we have a direct object. So this is a third person nominative, possessive, or objective pronoun. It's an objective pronoun or object pronoun because it's functioning as the direct object. All right? Okay, now on your notes, I want you to do this. Took who or took what? It is functioning as a DO. All right, you need to know that it is functioning as a direct object. You can find somewhere on that paper to write it. Okay? Now that you have it written in your data folder, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go into Schoology and to complete this portion and submit. All right, I'm going to give you about 5 minutes to go into this portion and submit. I do not need to hear you talking. Did you make sure you clicked first, second, third correctly? Did you make sure you did possessive?
I did everything right.
Don
made 92 too.
I have a whole bunch of hundreds though.
92.31. Well,
Shh.
eighth grade. I'm about that life. Yeah.
You put took as a first person nominative pronoun.
That's what I have it as.
Took is a first person nominative pronoun.
That's probably what
All right.
Where you wrote the stuff down.
Hold up. There is entirely too much talking. I'm giving you, let me check my grade book and see how many people need to submit.
Yes, ma'am.
Go back and look at what you wrote down. I wrote down what you have on the board.
Mm-mm.
Buster.
All right. I'm waiting on a handful of people to still submit. I need for your mouth to be closed. If you are finished and you have submitted, then you can go ahead and go to week 7 Monday's folder and go ahead and open up verbal notes, and then we're going to go do one more thing before we get started. All right. I'm still waiting on about 3 people to submit.
Bless you.
God bless you.
Okay. What I need for you to do right now is I sent out a parent square message on Saturday night at like 8:30, 9 o'clock. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is for the people that actually did what I asked, I'm going to give you bonus points. Okay. And the other thing I am going to do is I'm going to pull what I need for you to do. I'm sorry, let me back up. Is I need everybody to go into Schoology. Okay. Click on third 9 weeks, click on your English class. Okay. And then in this right hand column here where it says upcoming, you should see something that says Novel Project 2 must open. All right, Novel Project 2 must open. Now, you're going to go ahead and click on My Document. And when you do, all right, that was the timer for DGP, okay? When you do, this right here is going to pop up. Now, what I did is I had to figure out a way to grade your projects more easily and a way to make it to where it was less it didn't take me as much time to grade a single project. Okay, so what I have done here is I have created something, and as I check your project, I'm going to check off whether or not you have completed something. Okay, so let's just say for the first slide, your first name. If you did that, then I'm going to check the box and I'm going to give you 1 point. Now, I want you to notice that when I give you a point, it automatically begins to calculate your grade. So right now, if typing your first name was the only thing you did on the first slide, you've got 1 out of 6, which is the equivalent of a 16. Okay? Now, if you have your last name, I'm going to check the box and I'm going to give you a point. If you have your class period, I'm going to check the box and give you a point. Do you notice as I hit enter, it's calculating your grade?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Now, your date, if you do not have it typed just like I have typed right here, I'm going to check the box, but am I going to give you full credit? No, because when I went over the directions, I told you to type it like I had it. Okay? The title of the book is listed and italicized. Now, if you listed it but you did not italicize it, you're probably going to get 0.5 points. If you did both, then you're going to get the whole point. If your background has been edited, you're going to get a point. If it has not been edited, you won't. So, your grade is right here. Now, if you scroll all the way to the very, very, very bottom, based off of what we have done just so far, okay, you are going to have a running grade for the final total whole entire project. Okay? Now, this is if you were to only do that one slide and you don't touch this project again the whole entire time, you're going to score a 0. Okay?
So okay. So how you grading it? So okay. Are you gonna like put all like all the slides, grade things that we did up in here?
Okay.
Or like how you
So I have not decided yet if I'm going to give you a grade for each slide or if I'm going to average some of them together. But what I wanted you to know is that your work is being looked at. Okay? That I am paying attention to what you're doing. And I went, you like those punctuation patterns and sentence patterns when we talked about independent clauses and dependent clauses and your commas and stuff like that. You have got to put what I have taught you into action. Okay? You can't just learn it and forget it. I am making you be accountable and apply what you have learned. Okay? So if I see an error, then I am making note of that. Okay? So I'm going to undo this right here because for the next class it'll mess up somebody that has not already opened it. All right, so the other thing I'm going to do though is as you open this document, okay? As you open this document, I am going to go into it and I am going to make it to where you are only a viewer, okay? You will not be able to edit this in any way, shape, form, or fashion, okay? So, if what this will do, okay, this will allow you to know if I have graded your project. This will allow you to know how you're doing. It will allow you to know like what your mistakes are, etc. Okay. It's just easier than the paper. Now, I haven't decided how I'm gonna finish grading the end of the first novel project. What I may end up doing is taking this rubric that I have and making it fit a mold for the last few slides that need grading, and then we'll create a document for that. But I can tell you right now, the paper rubric and having to add and divide and all of that is taking entirely too long. Okay, so for what I'm going to do for right now is I'm going to put novel project 1 to the side a little bit. I'm going to get caught up with what you've done with novel project 2 and we're going to move forward, okay? But you do have grades for novel project 1. All right? It's the stuff that I have already graded and given back to you. It's just going to be the last few slides that you may not have a grade for a while, okay? All right, does everybody understand that? All right. All right, you can exit off of the rubric. Okay, if you are absent though, you have to go in and open up this and create the document so that I will have something to look at to grade with. Okay. All right, now let's go back to second 9 weeks. We're going to go down to week 7 and we're going to click on Monday. And now you're going to open verbal notes 12-4-23. All right, you're going to go ahead and create your document or click on my document. Okay. And this is what your sheet should look like. Okay, verbal notes 12-4-23. A verbal is a word that comes from a verb but doesn't act like a verb in the sentence. Now, we have talked about verbals some through DGP. Okay, we've talked about participles and we've talked about infinitives. All right. You have a slide in your presentation that focuses on verbals. So you have got to pay attention to what we're doing today. We are going to take a whole lot of notes. I'm going to try to go slow. Okay, but I need for you to pay attention and I need for you to type as we go. Everybody understand? Now, based off of what you're looking at, how many types of verbals do we have? 3. This morning, I was asking that question in the hallway because I know that we have talked about it. Okay, there are 3 types of verbals, and we are going to start with the definitions. Okay. All right, here we go. All right, gerund. All right, a gerund is a word that ends in ing and functions as a noun. Okay, it ends in ing and functions as a noun, but you would think that it could be a verb as well, just like the word walk or walking. Okay, today it was functioning as a noun, but we could have thought that it was a gerund in a way. Okay.
Are you grading it?
Yes, these will count as a grade. Okay, a gerund is a verb acting as a noun. A noun is a person, place, thing, or idea. All right, the next part we're going to go down to is notes. Okay, now we're going to take a whole lot of notes here. All right, if an ing word can be replaced by a pronoun, it is a gerund. Okay, if an ing word can be replaced by a pronoun, it is a gerund. Hold on, I have lost my... here we go. All right, example. Oh, girl. All right, an example. In time, you'll start to like reading, okay? Reading is functioning as a noun, but it's also something that can be done. But in this particular sentence, it is not functioning as a verb. It is functioning as a noun ending in ing. Now, I can swap this and make it read like this. In time, you'll start to like this. I swapped out the gerund for the pronoun this.
But how are we supposed to know what this is? That don't even make what this.
Huh?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's better to be specific than it is to use a pronoun. But it can be swapped out. All right. Can I move on?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. A gerund can be. Okay. A gerund can be. A gerund can be the subject of the sentence. Example, pretending is a childhood habit that some people never grow out of. Okay, pretending is functioning as your subject. It is also something that can be done. All right, and it ends in ing. All right. A gerund can also function as the direct object of the verb. All right, can also function as the direct object of the verb. All right, example. My friends don't like my singing very much. Okay, my friends do like who or do like what? Singing. All right. A gerund can come after a linking verb. Okay. The most common linking verbs are am, is, are, was, were. Okay. So a gerund can come after a linking verb to tell us something the subject is. Example, one of my favorite things to do outdoors is hiking. Okay, one of my favorite things to do outdoors is hiking. Your linking verb is, all right, and it's telling us what you like to do. All right.
All right.
Man, you gonna let me start a whole other page.
Okay. All right. A gerund can come after a preposition. All right, can come after a preposition. Example, my teacher got mad at me for texting during class. For texting. Now, a prepositional phrase has to end with an object of the preposition. The object of the preposition must always be what part of speech? Noun or pronoun. Okay. Texting is something that you do, but in this particular sentence, it's functioning as a noun because it's part of a prepositional phrase. It's telling what we're doing. For what? Texting. All right. That's it for the examples on that. We're going to talk about phrases real quick. All right. Move on down to the column called phrase. Okay. And we are going to talk about a gerund phrase.
Holy crap, you're going too fast, Miss Lewis.
Use the back, brother. What
Okay. Okay. Phrases. A gerund phrase consists of a verbal that ends in ing and everything that goes along with it, like modifiers or direct objects. Okay. So an example, a new supply of insect repellent came in. Lieutenant Carroll said that it was good for making Molotov cocktails. Okay. Making is a gerund. It's not functioning as a verb. Okay. It comes after a what? What is for? A preposition. Okay. So this is a gerund coming after a preposition.
Big argument like routine.
All right. Everybody got this?
Yeah. Is that all for phrases?
Okay. Yes, that's all for gerunds. Okay. Now we're gonna go to infinitives.
Is this like all we're doing today?
Yes.
So like, are we gonna have time after this to be free?
No. All right. Infinitives. All right. An infinitive is a verbal consisting of the word to and a verb that functions as a noun, adjective, or adverb. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
I didn't mean to do that.
So like, look, what is the point? Putting that. We've already done it.
Because I'm trying so hard to make sure that you get this information locked and loaded in your brain and that you do not forget it. And the more times
I've done that stuff like 5.
but the more times you write it,
The more I'm gonna remember.
the more likely you are to remember it.
So great. Gross. What are those examples on?
Yeah, I'm gonna let everybody get this right here, and then I will go to that.
Once a year, Thursday?
Okay. All right. So here we go with the examples. All right. An infinitive can be an adverb modifying a verb, usually answering why someone does an action. They did it, or example, in order to win or in order to get a decent computer. Okay. It can be an adverb modifying a verb.
I'd be sad for them both. Yeah. I'm gonna be sad for them. Oh, she's gonna help right there. My dad.
Okay. An infinitive can be. An infinitive can be the subject of the sentence. To win is the best feeling ever. Okay? To win is the subject of your sentence. All right? An infinitive can be the direct object of the verb. I didn't want to go out to the outdoor latrine, okay? I didn't want to go to the outdoor bathroom. All right, did want who or did want what? To go out to the outdoor latrine.
Miss Willis, you let me cut your hair. Shouldn't you have been? Come on here. There's hair on your floor. Girl.
Okay. The direct object of the verb. All right, an infinitive can come after a linking verb to tell us something the subject is. This one's kind of long. All right, so the direct object of the verb, I didn't want to go. Okay, we've already done that one. Infinitive can come after a linking verb to tell us something the subject is. The air in Nam was always hard to breathe. Okay, was always hard is your verb phrase. Hard to do who or hard to do what? To breathe. Okay, it was heavy, thicker than the air back home.
What is Nam?
Like Vietnam. All right, and then here are the last parts of this, okay?
You're going too fast.
All right. An infinitive can be an adjective modifying a noun. Okay, I went to the office to sign several papers. I'm going to leave that up there for a minute and let you get caught up. And then I will talk about it a little bit more, okay? I know, give it just a second.
One more thing will be involved. I swear. My dad's going there. Some more coming. Yeah, I don't know. We'll go home and then yeah.
All right. An infinitive can be an adjective modifying a noun. I went to the office to sign several papers yesterday. If an infinitive phrase acting as an adverb begins the sentence, put a comma after it.
Yesterday.
Shh. Too much. All right, does everybody have that part? Okay, so the last thing that we're going to talk about with an infinitive is the phrase. Okay? All right, an infinitive phrase consists of an infinitive, the word to, and a verb, and everything that goes along with it.
Bro. I'm not done that. One more thing. Maybe you can move on. Yeah, what award were we supposed to get for that gobbler thing?
Oh, we do have to do that. All
What did we
right,
get for it?
participle. Participles. Here we go. All right, I'm going to have to type this with you as you go. All right, A, participle. Let me make my font a little bit bigger so I can see it too.
You already know about the participles.
Well, it's already 11:40. We're not finishing.
All right, a participle is a verbal that functions as an adjective. Now, we have already covered this, okay? We have already covered this, so this should be a repeat for you. Now, an adjective does what? Describes.
A noun.
Good. All right. An example. The burning building crumbled slowly. Okay? Now, what is your noun?
Building.
Building. What happened to the building?
Crumble slowly.
Okay, yes.
Crumble.
All right, what kind of building?
Burning.
All right, it answers what kind, and it's burning. So burning is functioning as your participle. All right, there are two types of participles. All right, two types of participles. Present present, which is going to end in ing, and then past, which is going to end in what? Ed. Okay. It actually can end in eden, dt, or n. All right. An example in the present tense. Oh, that's a lot to talk.
Yeah, to help me feel.
This is a little bit hard for you to just press and copy and paste on.
I know. I topped it all though with the first two classes. Okay. Two types of. All right, here we go. We're just gonna do it. All right, the crying baby belonged to her. Okay. Actually, that wasn't bad. All right. Past example is going to be the exhausted students slept. Another one is going to be the broken window was fixed. And we ate the cooked meal. Now, participles are probably the easiest to me. Well, infinitives are the absolute easiest because it's to plus a verb. But participles are going to be fairly easy as well because if you can identify your noun, then you can identify your participle because it's describing your noun. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, it's almost something. Go ahead.
All right. That's all we're going to do on listen, hold up. These are all of the notes on verbals. Okay, so to recap real quick, how many different types of verbals are there? Three. What are the three different types of verbals? Gerunds, infinitives, and participles. All right, let me throw you a loop real quick. What are the verb moods? What are the different verb moods? subjunctive, conditional, indicative, imperative, interrogative. Now, on the lesson that we did last week, hold up, I'm not finished, and have a seat. It is not time to go.
Do we turn it in?
I need for you have a seat. Have a seat and listen to me. I am not done. Like, we are physically done taking notes, but class is not over. You do need to turn those in. Now, listen, I didn't tell you to close your computer. I was still trying to finish up. Okay? You don't pack your bag and you don't get up out of your seat. We still have about 3 to 4 minutes. Now, you need to turn your notes in. Okay? Tomorrow, you are going to do some lessons in iExcel on verbals. Okay? And then after we finish and master the iExcel, you're going to do some lessons in Savvis. You have to identify or find some verbals in your book to put into your novel presentation. Okay? So today was the introduction. Now we're going to start to practice and start to work on mastering this skill. All right, you will have a test on this skill on Friday, as well as a DGP test on week 12 sentence. Also, you have like 3 slides due this week. The language and grammar 2 slides and the exposition. Okay, you also have a novel test or like a quiz on like chapters 1 through 3, chapters 1 through 4 of your book. So this is an extremely busy week. All right? Make sure that you are here. Make sure that you're paying attention. Make sure that you're getting your work done. Are we clear? All right.
Do we submit it?
Yes, you submit.